Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something pretty significant. President Trump's proposal for tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals. This was just announced yesterday, May 6th.
That's right. And we're going to sort of unpack the thinking behind it, look at the potential impacts, and how different players are reacting based on the report we have here.
Okay, so this really seems rooted in the America First trade policy, doesn't it? Trying to boost U.S. manufacturing, cut down on relying on imports, especially from places like China and India.
Exactly. The core idea is to give drug companies a strong nudge to bring production back home, create jobs here, strengthen national security. That's the stated intention.
Okay, so what's the administration really emphasizing as the reason why these tariffs are needed now?
Well, the main argument is about this reliance on foreign production.
Hmm.
They see it as a vulnerability, both economically and for national security. These tariffs are basically the tool they're proposing to push for reshoring.
Bringing it back stateside. Makes sense on paper. But what about the economic side effects? The report mentions some concerns there.
It definitely does. I mean, the pharma industry runs on these really complex global supply chains. So tariffs, they could easily mean higher production costs.
Higher costs, right. And Ernst & Young put a figure on that.
Yeah, they estimated it could potentially boost U.S. drug prices by as much as $51 billion a year, which is quite a jump.
Wow, $51 billion. So for people listening, that could mean paying more out of pocket.
That's certainly a major risk. Those increased costs, that they often find their way down to the consumer level. Yeah.
So how's the industry itself responding? Are companies saying, okay, time to move back?
Well, we're seeing sort of two sides to the coin. On one hand, you've got Bristol-Myers Squibb stepping up pretty proactively.
Oh, yeah. What are they doing?
They've announced a pretty substantial investment plan, $40 billion over 5 years, to expand R&D and manufacturing right here in the U.S., so that definitely aligns with the goal.
Okay, $40 billion is serious money. But is everyone on board? I thought I saw something about Pfizer.
Right. That's the other side. Pfizer's CEO, Albert Bourla, voiced some, let's say, caution. He basically highlighted the uncertainty this creates.
Uncertainty? How so?
Well, he suggested this kind of uncertainty makes it harder for companies like Pfizer to commit to really big long-term investments in U.S. facilities. It's not so simple,
Right. It's a huge decision with lots of moving parts. And this isn't just a U.S. story, is it? What about other countries that sell drugs here?
Oh, absolutely. They're watching closely. Take the UK, for instance. They export about $6.5 billion worth of pharmaceuticals to the U.S. each year.
6.5 billion pounds. So these tariffs could really hit them hard.
Potentially, yes. And you're seeing UK-based companies like GSK and AstraZeneca reportedly already lobbying, trying to get exemptions or at least push back the timing.
Okay, and there's a deadline coming up really soon for people to weigh in, right? May 7th.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at a pretty critical point for how this policy might shape up. It brings the whole thing into sharp focus.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like this tension between wanting to, bring manufacturing home for security and jobs versus the real possibility of making healthcare more expensive for Americans. And of course, the whole international trade picture gets complicated.
It's a tough balance, when you think about these global supply chains, especially for something as vital as medicine.
Yeah.
What are the best ways, you think, to balance those national security interests with making sure people can actually afford the healthcare they need?
That is the question, isn't it? And honestly, there aren't any easy answers on the table right now. It's something we're definitely going to be hearing more about.
For sure. Well, thanks for walking us through the key points here. Lots to think about.